is a poetry writing intensive workshop that has gone on to be a collective, designed to assist the writer in creating a literal and metaphorical body of work. The workshop will be sectioned off to address particular regions of the female body. The workshop focuses on the topography of the body in the context of its beauty and flaws, functionality and health, sex positivity, sexual and gender identity. We will also take care to identify and include other cultural and geographical relationships that contribute to the daily transformations that work to create who we are as writers and artisans. What the womb isn't. The womb isn't your cemetery, your fire escape, your sticks and stones diatribe. It isn't empty swan song or slick-shoed pole dance. It isn't without fire, without magnanimous thunder roar, nor the strength of eggshell around embryo. It is all things physics. It is all things holy and unholy. The womb, the belly, the mound, the convex and concave, the body song, the abortion, the birth, the after murmur congealed purple and pulsating placenta. The womb isn't your political bastard, your 5 o'clock news top story whore ballot stuffer wedge issue appetizer plate. The womb isn't a third-rate quote. It is fire spark, it is corn goddess, Tonantzin, eater of the good filth and maker of man and woman, the water rush of menses. It is the last blood kernel protected by the husk. Thank you.
My aunt's breaths did not murder her, but they fell, one by one, overripe fruit. I remember she said once they were gone, she didn't feel much like a woman anymore. After the first surgery, she showed us her stitched skin, the higher part bronze from a summer by the pool, roughly stapled to one's upper abdominal white. She had no nipples. I remember staring in shocked curiosity. She would eventually have picturesque replicas tattooed on. Eventually, implants would replace the smooth boy chest, desperate to become woman again. It was the curve of my mother's hips that led to her betrayal. A wanton child nestled in uterus, waiting impatiently to spread, to creep into belly, to stretch into tubes and ovaries submerged in blood. Sound waves revealed a tumor, embedded in endometrial lining with no intention to unfurl. I recall the sudden realization, sonograms are not just used for spying unborn children. The surgeons left a scar from belly button downward where a womb was pulled from body, similar to a cesarean incision, only deeper. These parts, breast, uterus, systematically removed, the woman cut from our beings, never knowing they would be missed until they were gone. What offense deemed us unworthy of these precious female features? This landscape, gifted without asking, now taken despite pleas, this anatomy that defined us women. What is left once it is gone? Was it the deep, throaty voice of my aunt that frightened the feminine away? Or my mother's hands too masculine to hold a womb any longer? Will I pay for the sins of a barren belly and one too many late nights matching pints with the boys by having the female raped from my body with cold scalpel and surgical staples? The women in my family are blessed with beautiful breasts, curved hips, and a predisposition of cancer. We women of shared blood, of mirrored images and reflective habits, who can't quite quit cigarettes, who have a weakness for men who drink too much, who are so giving of our time, our lives, our flesh. We still miss these parts that are cut away. Thank you.
Grandma, why do you have cracks in your face? These cracks, baby girl, are song lines. Dreaming trails, lovely, latticework smiles, laughter, frowns, worries, eastern rivers, desert mountains, long time ago, right now. I sing my grandmother so that you, sweet one, may know her, round face with rounder cheeks, soft curls of thick silver hair, shaggy gray-black eyebrows over fierce brown eyes. She read Moby Dick to my father when he was just 4. He says he doesn't remember a damn thing about the book, but can't forget the sound of his mother's voice. Over 40 years, she milked 20 cows, morning and evening, and thought my mother uppity for wanting pasteurized milk, and that I should have been a boy. In the back seat, as my mother drove my great-granddad for his weekly case of beer, windows down in summer heat, he spit tobacco out the front window. Grandma used her firm, brown plastic purse to shield my brother and me from flying spittle, shook her head as she tissued off the slime. In fall, she put on her white church gloves, her wool scarf and long coat, and set out with rifle to shoot the first deer of the season. It hung from the oak tree in proclamation of her triumph. She butchered it on the kitchen table and wrapped the meat in neat white paper packages. To light the stove, she'd turn it on, let the gas build up, open the door, stand back, toss in a match, close the door. And when she found out that my granddad was sleeping with the plumber's wife, she said she'd dance on her grave. And dance we do, my child, etching our world into crevices and fissures, creeks and gullies, awash with sunlight, dashed with rain, where hope runs blood deep, that you and your mother will inherit this hardy landscape and not die with smooth faces.
This is called Bathtub Epiphany. Grandfather's clock chimed twice while I lay in the bath, once signaling the quarter hour, once signaling the half. I filled the tub with gardenia-scented bubbles and let them perfume the moist air. Closed my eyes and felt the warm water rush over me like a safe waterfall. Breathe deep, breathing out the frustrations of the day, the tensions, the troubles, hummed the slow choreography of release. I gazed down at my body, noticing how things look different from this angle, not my usual vertigo of shower. My curves are fuller, fat cells plumper, shy blue veins dance across my thighs, mingling with the bolder red arteries, enlisting freckles and moles as reluctant partners. I revel in the sweet symphony of myself. Liking this new affirmative tune, I feel as light and airy as the foam, unburdened by the chorus of echoes. I squeeze the bubbles together, feel their elasticity, their commitment to the task at hand. I slowly, gently caress each part of me, not like a lover, but like a mother, gliding over the smooth skin, whispering to each cell in turn, "You are loved." I take the time to feel my fleshy thighs, these strong legs that carry me through each phase of my life's journey, strong supports for my back, linger on the curve of hip, the perfect shape for cradling babies, rocking them gently to sleep. I do not analyze the meals that have taken up residence in my belly, but celebrate them for providing sustenance and fortitude. Massage my breasts, revel in their differing characters, fraternal twins born to the same mother. Promise them they will grow buoyant with milk. I save the shoulders for last, melt away their gnarled knots of tension with warm water and the kneading of evaporating bubbles. I revel in these gorgeous reminders of the sacred feminine, vow to stop apologizing for myself, stop tripping over my big, wide feet with high arches like flying buttresses supporting this holy cathedral, my voice often too small, inside these cavernous chambers, always searching for that sacred note that will carry my song. Thank you.
There are a few things more difficult, laugh, than getting lipstick out of a blue collar. For a few things, we work. Work like lipstick on a blue collar. Like 3 jobs in the sex we still can't afford to have. Like a sex worker. Fancy feet fantasies of strawberry toes dipped in fondue faces while we rest in the heel of society. I will never let him have my feat of running, kicking, and standing instead of lying down. 2. That pill drug skid marks down my esophagus after kicking and screaming across my tongue. Awoke, took my longest finger out of me at 6 o'clock, erected it to 12, and shoved it past his sleeping nose. There is nothing sexy about eye sockets. When the perpetrator sleeps over, it's date rape, whether the patron paid or not. 3. My arms are longer than his sentence. Rivet long and smooth, sometimes for fastening the maturation of baby boys to maybe men, other times for the quickening of the removal of his sternum from my bosom. Maybe baby, maybe not. These arms do not belong to him. They are open to me. 4. My ankles were pregnant with desperate housework when I collared him. Lipstick I did not recognize, perfume I did, but did not blame her for being a victim, did not blame my hands for refusing to wash any more of his fucking shirts, did not blame God for leaving his patriarchal paycheck, for putting my baby girl on my back, for putting food and shelter on my shoulders, making my living off my ass. My brain cannot be judged by its cover, my complexion or my circumstance, not where I clock in or clock out. I have a degree in sociology and survival, and only one is coming in handy. 5. My daughter is my body of labor, a woman now, born from my rib, pushed from my pelvis, apple of my Eve, I named her Eden. She has nested with serpents and seen me serve leg, thigh, and breast to a tapeworm society that cannibalizes its women. She's seen my serviceable body parts removed and used to fill their holes. She's seen my heart overlooked, cast plate side like a gizzard. She's seen them eat me from the inside out. 6. She barely remembers my housewife days of not lifting a finger to her father, and him putting himself wherever he wanted, and his fist as hard as they wanted. And I chose bait instead of bitch. I chose pussy instead of prison, because I'd rather teach her that there is dirt underneath every French manicure, that working girls get their ass kicked for a living. That's a choice for some, less of a choice for others. But so is getting your ass kicked for love, for life. Teach her the difference between sale and sacrifice is the cost and the price, like the difference between pay equity and a fair wage. Teach her the difference between high-risk career and poor life choices, that either way we have rights, even when they put their palms over our voices. I taught her that I'd rather give the street what her father repeatedly took, even pride. What she learned from me is the value of her body, for better or for worse. She learned not to stay for bullshit like relationships take work. Work takes work. And work consists of whatever a body is obliged to do.